Michael Fisher had just left his Compton church when he saw a red car punctured with bullet holes. The driver was slumped in the front seat. Another man who had been riding in the car was in the street nearby, fatally wounded and lying in his own blood. Fisher pulled over on South Wilmington Avenue and got out to help. He looked into the pained eyes of the man on the ground and grabbed his hand. The pastor prayed as Boston Farley, a father of a 1-year-old boy, vomited, then slipped away. "We can no longer lose our sons and daughters to senseless violence," the pastor said later. Farley's fatal shooting this month came amid a surge in violence in Compton. So far this year, killings have tripled compared with the same period last year, reaching 15, more than all of 2015, according to figures from the Compton Sheriff's Station. This month alone, 7 people have been killed in the city of roughly 100,000 residents. Los Angeles County Sheriff's officials say most of the killings have some sort of gang tie. In February, the city made national headlines after 1-year-old Autumn Johnson was struck and killed by gunfire as she stood in her crib. Authorities believe gang members were targeting the child's father. But other homicides, like Farley's, remain a mystery. Most of the killings remain unsolved. Newsletter: get the day's top headlines from Times editor Devin Maharaj. The violence threatens to undo some of the progress the city has made in recent years to shed an image that has been associated with gangs and crime. And the shootings are testing a pledge made by federal authorities in October to help the city curb crime by providing extra resources to make meaningful and long-lasting improvements to the daily lives of Compton residents. At the time, the announcement of federal help was hailed as a game-changer by Compton Mayor Aya Brown. Gang-related killings in Compton are on the rise. At a town hall meeting last week, city and local law enforcement officials reassured anxious residents that they were doing all they could to combat the problem. The LA County Sheriff's Department says it has boosted patrols. And city leaders said the federal program, the Violence Reduction Network, has already begun providing much-needed training and resources that will help deter crime. "We want people to know that we're looking out for you," said Citra Zurita, a local school board member who is helping the city manage the federal program. Zurita and her sister, City Councilwoman Jenna Zurita, knew the mother of one of the recent homicide victims. "It hits very close to home. Other cities that have been a part of the federal network have had success in reducing and solving crime. In Wilmington, Dell, police created a new homicide unit, and within a year, the city's rate for solving killings tripled," federal authorities said. Last year, Detroit police reported a decline in robberies and a slight drop in homicides. So far this year, the number of killings in Oakland is down by more than 40% compared with the same period in 2015. However, Chicago, which is also part of the network, has suffered a dramatic increase in homicides while shootings are up 50% so far this year. In Compton, Citra Zurita said the federal partnership has helped get some gangbangers, pimps and young girls off the street. The attention of multiple agencies, such as the Department of Justice, the FBI and the District Attorney's Office, is positive, because you are communicating and resources match up, she said. Recently, the city applied for a $1 million grant from the Justice Department that would provide technology that detects and pinpoints the location of gunshots when they occur, and youth intervention services over 3 years. In addition, Compton is working on an application for a smaller grant that would offer training for authorities who deal with those who are mentally ill. "People think that the federal program comes and cures all," Zurita said. "But what it does is provide expertise and resources, and that helps in the long run." The recent violence has yet to hit the levels seen more than a decade ago, when Compton recorded more than 70 killings in a single year. Since then, homicides have fallen dramatically. Last year's tally of 13 killings was the lowest in more than a decade, according to figures provided by the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Captain Michael Thatcher, who heads the Compton station, said his department was taking the crime spike seriously and has deployed additional patrols, though he declined to give specifics. There are extra gang officers on the streets, sheriff's officials said, and the city has started a public awareness campaign to urge the community to call in tips about crimes. It's very troubling to us, Thatcher said of the homicide increase. Thatcher said it was too early to judge the effectiveness of the federal violence reduction network. In a statement, the Justice Department said the program was meant to provide a long-term, sustainable strategy to reduce violent crime. The department declined requests to make available people in charge of the program nationally and locally to give specifics on how the network could bolster local efforts to contain crime. Full story on LA Times.